Hi everyone, welcome back to another Cut Above with Chris. Going to be using some new products today and I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into them. So for the head and face shave today, it'll be a head shave, cheeks and neck down here. So the usual crap for you guys that have watched the full face shaves for a while. But I am enjoying the beard, it's a bit different. I've got beyond the itchy stage for the first time probably in my whole entire life without shaving it off. So I'm going to be using Portus Cale, which is a Portuguese company. My first ever Portuguese soap, and the scent on this one is citrus, cedar and amber. Now you probably won't see it on there because I don't think this front facing camera focuses, which isn't great, but 5.5 ounces of soap, so it's a good bit of soap. It is glycerin based, so it is vegetal based, there's no tallowates or anything like that in here, so for you guys out there that are either like vegetarian or vegan or whatever you want to call it, this soap will probably suit. Now the scent on it is absolutely lovely. I get the amber, I get a little bit of wood, and I get that sort of zing from the citrus. It's not super strong, but it's around about a 4 scent strength. Now it's rock hard. I mean rock hard. I can't even put a dent in it. I can hardly leave a fingerprint in it. Do you know what? I'm almost contemplating. I'll leave it where it is just now. Right. So brush for today is going to be another Portuguese product. Now this one was very kindly sent from one of the guys that watches the channel. And he also follows me on Instagram, and I apologise, I can't remember his bloody name, terrible, but it is this little Semogue, another Portuguese product, Excelsior. Now, it looks lovely from the front. I have broken this in a little bit, I've probably lathered this about 6 times now. It's a little bit softer, however, that happened the very first time I soaked it. Now you probably, if I touch the screen there, there's a crack from there all the way down. It's just split right open. And it's only happened on the back. I've heard this is a very common thing for these brushes. To be honest, I might actually take this out and end up, whoa, some real bright shit there we go, and actually use it for a different brush, take the knot out and reuse it and get rid of the handle. So I'm just going to dip that in the warmer water. It's been soaking for about 10-15 minutes and straight into this nice brand new tub of Portus Cale. Now, it's quite expensive soap. It wasn't super cheap by any account. I believe you can get it over here from Stray Whisker, but I did buy this from Cannot Shaving over in Ireland, and the reason I got it from there was my wife wanted some more of this Wickham 1912 face soap. No mate! No, there's enough stuff for you mate, no. No, just save your money, mate. Okay? Kids want to go to the ice cream van, but the ice cream van over here is so expensive, and they've just spent a fortune going to the cinema and everything like that, so. I feel like the bad guy there. We don't get one that comes round that often either, but it's like $5 for a shitty cone. It's just ridiculous. Right, this is loading up really nice. It looks quite thick and creamy. It'll be interesting to see if the scent opens up more when you actually get stuck into it. So, as you can see there, just scoop that all on. Oh yeah, it's a really nice scent. That's my kind of scent. The brush will kill the scent a little bit because the brush smells like Derby. I have been using Derby to break it in, just to get rid of the funk, stinky, funky smell. So here we go. Let's start painting this on. Now, I was going to use some Furbo today, I decided not to. So there's a nice little bit of scrub with this brush. There's not too much scritch with it, but there is a little bit. It's a brand new Semogue, so you can't expect that from a brand new Semogue bore brush. I'm not sure really what grade of hair this is, but it doesn't look too unlike the hair that you would get in the Semogue Owners Club bore brush. There's a few more black hairs, but overall it feels very similar. Much smaller knot, probably around a 22mm or something, 20mm, 22mm. But other than that, it's a really nice looking little brush. wooden handle that's been sort of painted with an acrylic sort of thick paint. But like I say, it's the knot itself for me from Semogue that sets them apart from anyone else in terms of boar brushes. They take a little bit longer to break in. Not that I've ever actually spent the time breaking one in myself. But I have used a broken in Semogue Owners Club and they are absolutely beautiful. I sort of regret getting rid of that brush now. As you can see, that lather is building up just nice. There's a lovely gloss on it. It really is a nice gloss from it. And I'll probably leave it at that because I will be using the Carve razor to start this shave, and I'll be finishing off with the Omnishaver, which is my sort of, it's not my go-to head shaver, but I am using it exclusively for the time being, just to see how many shaves I can get out of it before it needs replacing. So it could be a long time before I use a different head shaving tool, but there is a reason behind it. This lather is absolutely stunning. The scent on it is just nice. It's running a bit of four still. It's not super strong, but it's strong enough that you can smell it during the lather process. So here we go. I've got the Carve razor here. I've got the 4.5 inch Argyle handle, which is, there's only 4 of these in the world. Very, very, just over the moon to have one. Chris Kirchin over at Carve, who makes these razors, sent it over as a thank you for obviously all the help that I've given him during this really busy period, and also sent a couple of soaps and stuff over to him because he doesn't get time to really get out and about and do things. So here we go. I've got the E-plate on here, and I've got a Persona vintage blade. Now the E-plate is super efficient, but still got that lovely smooth carve about it. Just peeling through. It really is. Now the Carve razor, I find no matter what plate I put on here, is smooth. Obviously with the F plate and the E plate and the D plate, I should say the D, E and F plates, yes, it's way more efficient. But you don't sacrifice the smoothness of the razor for the efficiency. Right, so that is that done. We shall now move on to the Omnishaver, which looks like that. If you haven't watched any videos that I've used this razor, it's a very simple tool. You basically put it on your head, pull it forwards and backwards until the shave's done. And it's as simple as that. Now I've got no idea when this razor is going to die. It's still, right now, still feels quite smooth and efficient. It doesn't feel really any different to the last time I used it. I've got 3 days growth, so there's enough growth to challenge a razor, any razor, especially cartridges. But there's very few cartridge razors that you can use for so long on your head like this without having to rinse it out like 20 times. I'm just going to give it a rinse out. So you can see there, it's chocolate, look at the amount of lather that's actually went through the back of it. You just give it a quick rinse in the water, just a shake in the water, pull it out, crystal clear. Literally, there's no hair in it, it's amazing. How it does it, I have no idea. Well, I do, the technology, it shows you the technology behind it, but It's just amazing. Certainly if you live in an area where water's a premium, like I do, I mean, I sort of use water more than I should. But this still offers you a super smooth, super comfortable shave. Now just to put it into comparison of pricing, I think these are about $15 American, and it's like $3 or $4 for worldwide shipping, American. So ultimately you're still paying $20 for a razor. However, when you take into account that your average sort of set of good quality blades these days, cartridges that is, not DE blades, can range anywhere from sort of $10 to $30 depending how many you buy. If I can get 30 plus shaves from this cartridge, this machine here, for me it's paid its due. So anything over and above 30 days is going to be a real bonus in my opinion. The slickness on this soap is excellent. I always find glycerin soaps to be very, very slick. I don't normally find them to be such a nice lather. However, this one seems to excel at both. It made a very dense, creamy, glossy lather. Which just does the trick. And that, ladies and gentlemen, other than just a little bit there, it's another spanking good shave. The sink is chock-a-block full of hair. All I'm doing now is rinsing the sink out. I'll just run a bit of water through the back of the razor and on top of the blades, and then all you do is you just blow through it with your mouth. Just rinse it, flick off all the excess, and you just go pretty much like that. And you've got crystal clear, lovely clean blades that have been stropped and shaving at the same time pretty much for that whole shave. It does a wonderful job. Rinse off the head. I think I might have cut myself, I'm not sure. We'll soon see. Now, the only problem I find with this razor is that you can become very complacent with it. You can get a bit carried away with how easy it is to use. No, I haven't cut myself. Just obviously there's a little bit of sting just right there. But there's zero blood. Oh, tell you what, post-shave feel very moisturised, super moisturised. So I'm going to let that sit for a bit. I will finish off the whole entire shave with some Bart's Balm later on. But what I'm going to do now is I am going to flip the camera over and put it onto the rear facing camera for a bit better quality for the face shave. Stay tuned. Alright, and we're back. Oh, straight back, it's instant back. So moving on to the cheek shave and the neck shave. I'm just going to fill the sink up, which I should have done before I started the video, but hey ho. I'll fill this up. So the Portus Cale, I can show you now in the HD, a bit closer version. That's what the label looks like. This one's off centre, so it's a little bit, pisses me off a little bit. There's definitely no blood. Oh, I tell you what, I'm really impressed with the soap so far. Very, very moisturised afterwards. This is super moisturised. You really would get away without a post-shave product, but I will be using one anyway. I've already loaded my brush up. Now this comes in a 5.5 ounce tub. It's very heavy and it is a solid soap, so it's going to last a long time. I've already got my little Semogue already loaded up, but I'm just going to dip the tips and just sort of reapply just a little bit, just to get a little bit more into the brush, because it is a small knot. It's my first time lathering with it, and it made an amazing lather. And like I say, I'm only going to be doing my cheeks and my neck, so I don't need a whole heap in the brush, but I need enough. And once again, I'm not going to use Furbo. I'm just going to get stuck straight into the lather and really showcase the quality of the soap. I will be using the same brush again, which is the Semogue Excelsior, and you'll be able to see now the crack right down the back of it. Lovely little brush. It's got a nice bit of weight, good size knot, and it's certainly ideal for this sort of application, definitely. I can tell you straight away that there's absolutely pretty much no scritch at all, surprisingly. To see, this is the first time I've used this on my skin, especially on my neck. I'm not getting any real scritch from it. Oh, that was far too much water. Oh, that was a shit ton of water. Let's see how the Portus Cale soap deals with that. So it's dealing with it admirably. I did add far too much water onto that there. As you can see, it's still made a pretty nice little lather. Probably a little bit too airy now, but because it's glycerin based, I'm not too worried about that. It's going to have plenty of slickness, which is what I'm mainly looking for. Right, moving on to my second Carve razor, which is the 3-inch original one that I purchased with the C plate on here. And here we go. Very, very slick soap, I have to say. Now the blade I've got here is like a 9th use derby blade. And to be fair, I think it's on its last legs. But still pretty darn smooth. Beautiful. Right, let's rinse all this off. I think I may have screwed up the lines on my cheeks. Right, I might just grab the ever trusty above the tie. I may have to just tidy that up a little bit later. Anyway, let's move back onto the finishing off the neck shave. This little brush has actually really impressed me. I'm not a massive fan of the handle. I think the handle's a little bit average. Obviously, since it's split as well, makes it even more average. One thing's for sure, they're very cheap. Just a little bit floating about in my neck here. There we go. Really good quality soap. Right, I shall be back in a second. I'm just going to tidy up a bit. Alright, and we're back. Just to finish off with my post-shave products, I'm going to be using Bart's. Oh, come on, focus. There we go. Don't know why that wasn't focusing very well. Bart's aftershave lotion. Give it a bit of a shake. And this one is the Amber and Moroccan Jasmine to go with the Amber, Citrus and Cedar Wood scent in the soap. So one squirt for the head. Oh, that scent is absolutely sensational. Sensational. Do you know what? That one squirt is enough to do everything. So it's going to go a long way, that stuff. So don't over apply it. If you're just doing your face, half a squirt is plenty. Absolutely loads, wow. That's really went a long way. Now it feels quite oily at the moment. I'm going to let that sit, rinse off my hands. And we'll move through this stuff now. So it was Portus Cale, Portuguese soap, absolutely beautiful scent. Yeah, lovely. Citrus, cedar and amber, really, really nice. The brush today was the Excelsior from Semogue, which is a 22mm, or I think it's a 20mm. No, but really, really nice little brush. We used both of the Carve razors today. You can see the difference in the handle lengths there. 3.5 inch, 3 inch. Absolutely beautiful razors. Also used the above the tie R1 Calypso. For the head shave, once again the Omnishaver outperformed pretty much every razor that I've ever used for my head. It just blew them away. And we finished off today with some Bart's aftershave lotion, which smells sensational, very similar to Creed Aventus. Yeah, that's starting to absorb nicely now. It leaves a lovely feeling on your skin, really moisturised. And other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly did. So stay safe, drive safe, don't drink and drive. And I'll catch you guys in the next shave. Cheers.